What's up, guys? Vago here. Oh my god, it's been a while. I mean, honestly, it hasn't been long enough. Like, holy shit, y'all have grown. Like, oh my god, like I have been so fucking faithful to this channel. Honestly, I'm still thinking about this channel, and I don't make that much videos at all. It's very noticeable. And I like to touch up on that. I do have a secondary job, but priorities come first, and I'm trying to get a car as it is right now, and then try to get my education. But today is not about me. It's about my boy, Coffee Bean! Now, honestly, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He is a kid, and he takes a little bit of criticism maybe slightly more harshly than most people. And I will say, I think people keep getting the wrong point of my comment about the criticism. I'm sorry, it wasn't that, on point. I'm sorry it wasn't, exactly right. But I did point out it is from what I see. That could mean anything. That doesn't mean I've seen the whole series. I've seen enough to know that there's a lot of characters that are kind of up and down. So I will declare myself a personal goal. I will look through every one of Coffee Bean's videos, watch them through, make a good analysis on what I haven't done, since apparently people want me to do it and can't tell from somebody just getting on YouTube and having nothing to do or better to do, then make a paragraph of, from what I see, is to be, kind of just going on the gay and bisexual and trans agenda. It's just that I see a lot of these stories, and sometimes they have a little bit of cringe into it, and without any jokes, going any further at least, it's just that usually when I see a story being put up, in general, you have these Super Saiyan 4 gods thing. By the way, it was totally my idea first. Ha 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 ha. It wasn't, but I don't know what that joke is, but a friend of mine that watches my videos probably will. So he'll probably comment because I never get any comments. Help me, son. But yeah, I never knew that I would be dragged into a drama on YouTube. I just randomly put one comment out, and I will admit I'm not that very smart in general. I mean, I don't claim to be, but I guess this is me saying I'm butthurt. Holy shit! But I didn't really expect the person that I watch to display a bunch of hostility and everything. And there's some people that were watching his stream that, just kind of misunderstood on what exactly I was saying. You have some people saying, in this day and age, we came to accept yeah, I get it, I come to accept that too, and a lot of other people do as well. And that's not the issue here, alright? I will explain what my criticism was, and I'll make a new criticism video. Well, first video, but, new criticism just being a video, but yeah. What my criticism was is that basically what I wrote, but I'll explain even further and beyond. I did say no jokes further, but heck, fucking took that lie back. Basically what I was just trying to say is that I didn't want his stuff to be as cringy and repulsive as possible. I don't mean that in a bad way. There's a lot of artists that kind of suffer from this. There's an Explicit guy that does fucking a fan manga of Rigger, and if anybody knows what that is, he recently rebooted his fan manga, which I fucking love what he did with it. The man's been practicing at his art. Not only that, the storytelling is based from point A to point B perfectly. And I would love to see what he has more up his sleeves. I mean, shit. You have the plot of Rigger's mother dying. You also have the backstory of Rigger, just tying in with Vegeta and everything, and then trying to save his... I forgot if it was his sister or... No, it's not his sister. It's basically just a random girl. But, he has connections with her. He protects her. And years later, he comes back for that very, very angry vengeance that he wants against Vegeta for shooting his mother in the back. So fucked up, like. And that is pretty unique in its own manner. But what I'm trying to get at is that the guy that does Rigger's story and everything, in terms of what Coffee Bean's story is, no, they are vastly different. And what he has and what Coffee Bean has is totally different. One is about, like, fighting and stuff, and, pure bronze, or whatever the fuck he said in his video. I don't care much to remember exactly what he said about that, so yeah. But this is going to be another thing. I'm going to comment on the whole Dragon Ball feel. Okay, so what I meant, and I guess I didn't really explain myself better, is that if you're making a pre-existing world of Dragon Ball, I'm not exactly saying you have to. You don't. You're totally entitled to do whatever you want. But it just seems out of place and alienated when you make a story that's within a pre-existing world and it's not made from scratch. And it feels odd, Like, you go in and you see, like Goku or Vegeta walking around and stuff like that. They're automatically acting different, or maybe they're acting the same, but, it's just different in general. And I guess that's my own opinion. And at the time, I didn't really think about what I was saying. For example, I said maybe he should change his backstories. That's another explanation. I didn't mean exactly like he had to change his backstories. I'm just saying, like, he might have to go back, reinvent, and remake, and keep going through it until it's perfect. Artists do this all the time. This isn't a bad thing. And the Rigger story is perfect example for that. The guy that made Rigger's story and everything, he went through the first story and note that it was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but it was okay. It was good. But when he reinvented everybody, it was better. It was great. You got the characters with a whole new look. They still sport the whole Dragon Ball feel, like I said, ball, and act slightly different. He still adds his own thoughts to it. They act like the same characters, but then again, they don't. Like, they act more realistic. You have Trunks that I think is a real estate agent or something. I can't remember, or president. And then you got, I think it was Android 18 that was a real estate agent. I don't fucking know. But basically, you see my point. Like, these characters developed and they changed, but yet they still feel like they're in the world of Dragon Ball. In my terms, and in my opinion, I know, it's illegal. I can't have my opinions. But, I don't think talking about my comments in a hour-long video, an hour and something more long video, is definitely worth anyone's time. Especially when I was just, talking regularly. I will say the 4chan thing was out of place. I basically called his story crap. I kind of meant that as a joke, but my jokes go from very rapid harsh to like, oh, okay, I guess that was funny. But yeah, it's like a rapid fire thing when it comes to my jokes. All I'm saying is that I feel like people shouldn't look at other people's comments, or at least my comments in general, and think one-sided about this. Like, he's just some guy that doesn't accept what gay or transgender and all this other shit is. All I'm just saying is that he should be careful and not to get all in this story about Legion and everything, and then make it all about the agenda. That's all I'm saying. Well, maybe I said it was, but, you know, like I said, wasn't really thinking when I was commenting. But, yeah, if people thought it was a very well thought out criticism and enough to make a video on it, I guess this would be part 1, which would be explaining what I was trying to explain on the explanation of his story, on the explanation of his videos, explaining. You see where I'm going with this? I gotta keep explaining continuously for people to get what I'm trying to say. And I'm not being an asshole. I just wanna make my opinion. You know? But yeah. That's it for the first video, I guess. I don't know. Let me see if I'm forgetting anything. I did make other comments. Oh yeah, that one guy asked about a JoJo reference. I kind of thought he was joking, but you know, I didn't want to go into the JoJo references with the guy and, you know, make this a whole joke thing. He was probably trying to save me. Poor soul. He's like, this guy will make a video on you. He will make an hour-long video, and he will talk about you continuously. And when he does get to the climax, oh, you will be sorry. And I'm like, okay, bet, but I'm going to keep explaining. And he's like, son of a bitch. But yeah. Oh yeah, I did have another thing. I also noticed that a lot of people don't read all the way through. I mean, they say they do, but then they explain some stuff that doesn't make sense because it's nothing of what I said. I think I already covered this, but I guess I'll say it again. You can't exactly just I don't know. You can't just, like, make a comment about somebody and then automatically think, like, oh, he's just being a guy that's hating on all these transgender or gay people and stuff like that. I will admit, and I already admitted again in another video, that I am Christian, but none of my beliefs really matter in the fact that, you know, being a Christian also means that you don't get to judge people exactly. So I don't really judge anybody when it comes to, you know, sexuality. If they want to fucking be gay or transgender or something, that's fine. They respect my beliefs, I respect them. So I guess what I'm basically saying is my criticisms had nothing to do with anything about hating gays or anything at all. Sorry if it seemed that way, but it wasn't that at all. All I was just saying is that he should be careful on when he's making this story and how he's making it, because some of the wording, at least somewhat on how he explains it, I'm guessing he didn't write this out in a script before making the videos that he made, to where it seems out of place and alienated and cringy. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you gotta look at both ends. You can't just, like, fight for yourself on your whole story and then think it's gonna fucking work. I mean, you know what? I'll just say what my first backstory was of Sun Vago, which you already know. I do a few gaming videos with my friends, and I also play as Sun Vago as well whenever I'm fighting people. Sun Vago's first backstory was that the fact that he was like in the tournament between the Cell Saga and the Majin Buu Saga, and Vegeta finds him or something, and he adopts him after he proves himself in a fight. But he was able to fight Vegeta in his base while Vegeta was in Super Saiyan, but no, Super Saiyan Vegeta was holding back a lot. But, you know, he was impressed that he could even stand up somewhat to him. So he trained the boy. The thing about that is that one, I'm messing with the characters in the story. Two, I'm distracting with the fact that I'm not making my own story in general. Three, if my character is implemented in any of the main cast lives, then it's basically just a non-canon piece of shit. I mean, why even do that? It's, and hear me out, cringy. It's not good. It's not great. It's not well thought out. So, I recreated and I reinvented. Number 2. The number 2 backstory. I had him wish to life of being the strongest warrior in the universe, basically, that could surpass time and space itself. And he was supposed to meet all these other characters that had a backstory, which was made by Suicide, which you see on here, on this video in the background, and Minty Dragon, which made the character Christian. Oh wait, I didn't even explain who Suicide's character is. It's Toshi. I'm sorry, my guy. Rest in peace. But anyway, that was somewhat of a better story, but at least started the backstory. But what he was supposed to do is that sooner or later he's supposed to go through these complicated events where he wants, like, when he gets to the whole God form stages, he's like, oh, okay, well, I can't go into a God form because the wish from the dragon limits me from that, and I can only go through a certain path myself. Obviously, I'm not explaining it well, and I really don't have time to do that because I got shit to do. And I'm just kind of making this on the spot. So, yeah, not the story at least, but, you know, making the video on the spot. And I guess, I don't know, maybe I should make background stories myself, but I guess I'll ruin the story as well. I'd rather do a fan comic later in the future for you guys, other than just, you know, a plain video explaining on what my character is. Okay, so the final piece of what I had, I changed the wish because, one, the wish seems out of place and way too fucking big of a wish. The thing about our characters is that we try to make it simple as possible to where it's not too over-exaggerated and overly, you know, unreasonable. So we made the wish to where it's like, you know, Trunks wishes for the dragon, the Super Dragon Balls, to create a dude that could basically just help him out. He just, like, has a high power in general, a high potential. A high battle power, how Frieza would say it. And he goes on these adventures. Sooner or later, we end, I think 3 arcs? No, I think it's like 4. Around like 4 arcs. On the 4th arc, we fight Mechikabra and his gang in an all-out fucking war. Which, that's a whole fucking masterpiece in the making, because we haven't actually fully done that. We kind of did the Akira Toriyama thing and put bullet points and then filled in the gaps. But the filling in the gaps is not rushed like the anime. It's more like thought out over time. We had like 4 years on this, so yeah. But yeah, that just kind of explains what I was saying. That's how I came up to the story of what I wanted it to be. It's not a really explained version at all of what I have, because I have a lot more than that. But I feel like I'd be ruining my series if I said anything about it, at least more about it. And I'd rather give it into a comic form for anybody that wants to read it. But yeah, Coffee Bean, sorry if it seemed like I was insulting you. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean for any of that. Sorry if it meaned, again, if I mean to sound like I was trying to change your stories. I wasn't. Your stories are fine. I'm just saying you might need to re-look them over to sharpen them better. But yeah, I guess I'll do the unvago thing and say like and subscribe to Coffee Bean. But yeah, don't take it personal, kid. Okay? It was just a comment. Just a comment.